How's everyone doing? Welcome to the final episode of After the After Hours with your boy TraderPrad. The final day of this week. Is tomorrow going to be a free fall Friday? Now get ready for tomorrow. Powell going on the microphone. Powell going on the microphone again. Get ready for tomorrow. So I do have a watch list ready, but if you guys are ready, hit that like and subscribe. Hit that like and subscribe. Thank you guys for all the love. Thank you guys for all the support. This is your boy TraderPrad. But if you guys are ready for this show to get started, why don't we dive into the full screen and hit that like and subscribe. We're here. I got distracted. My bad. We're here. What's up, chat? I started hearing the song change and I realized, wait, it's way past the normal time that I change screens at. I was playing with the Grok AI and I got distracted. Man, playing with AI is so much fun. The new meta with Grok, with ChatGPT, all the Studio Ghibli meta that's been going on, just having some fun with it. Also watching some of the crazy advancements that the AI has been having recently, and got completely sidetracked in that. How are you guys doing? Let's talk about you guys. Market, little back and forth, I guess you could say. We round tripped on a lot of stocks. We went up and then we went back down. Tesla, for example, did Tesla actually go all the way back up later on? It didn't, so it stayed actually down at the end of the day, pulled right back up into the close, you know, full round trip on that one. Market started to look like it was going to be a little bit of a bullish rally, but then that got immediately stuffed right back to the downside. So lots of questions still, you know. Tariffs news, we got some tariff conversations into after hours. That took, if I remember correctly, GM stocks yesterday after hours to the downside, and Ford and so on. So lots of tariffs still lot of worries about tariffs still going on, and you still have April 2nd, which is a big date to see how he's going to impose tariff on, if I'm thinking Mexico and Canada are going to be in that date. So yeah, and a bunch of other countries too possibly. So we'll see how market deals with that situation going into all kinds of uncertainty. So lots of volatility still in the market for us to take advantage of. Today, GME, I called out GME yesterday for you guys on stream. Look for that downside move, and it was an insane all day fader, which we'll talk about my trades on the day today. It had GME on the day. VVPR, that one kind of scammed me on the day, sadly, but I had a flat break-even day, so I can't complain. Started off the day red with GME, made my money back, and I got to the green side too. I think I really trade GME to the best of my ability. I could have done a couple things better. We'll talk about that in a minute, but traded that to the best of my ability. And later on, I gambled my whole day on VVPR to see if I could have a little bit of a better day, but sadly that didn't work out the way I thought it would, and giving back some money on that one and ending break even. But tomorrow, tons of activity expected. Semiconductor stocks look weak. AVGO selling off. I think AMD was a little weak also. So semiconductor stocks look weak. Large cap stocks a little all over the place, but they also look like they want to go back down going into a Friday, going into Wednesday next week. Do we really think people are going to situate for or buy and swing into April 2nd? I don't think so. You might see a lot more de-risking and being careful going into April 2nd, and based on that, I'm expecting more downside on the market. So we'll see if this bounce that we actually had, this little relief bounce that the market had, is it an actual relief bounce, or is that a dead cat bounce and we go right back to the south side, get back below 200-day moving average for the S&P 500. There was an interesting statistic that I saw, that there were only a very handful, you can count on one hand or maybe two hands at best, how many times the S&P 500 went above and then back below the 200-day moving average. And when it has, all 6 of those times, the market has gone down 3% the next week or something along those lines, or the next few days in that week itself or something along those lines. So if history was to repeat itself, we're expecting more downside on the market. All right, let's go to the full screen and let's talk about my trades on the day. Before I do that, I just want to show you guys, look at the advancements in AI. This is AI making different styles of animation in from a video that they provided to it. So ChatGPT has been kind of killing it. My new thumbnail right now, I can't go to my profile. Okay, my new thumbnail right now, okay, I can't go to my profile, is, how do I look at my profile pic, is a nice Studio Ghibli from AI. So I'm just having fun with AI overall. If you guys haven't played with AI yet, you guys need to go do it. All right, let's go talk about my trades on the day, starting with Gimme GME. Very weak right off the open, selling off, getting below yesterday's levels. Yesterday was obviously the earnings day 1. Today earnings day 2. Yesterday after hours, they announced the what was that thing called, offering convertible notes so they can dilute themselves and go buy Bitcoin with that money. So awesome job, textbook job, honestly, and textbook because that comes from Michael Saylor's textbook, right? He's done that before, diluting 100% of the company's float just so he can go buy Bitcoin with it, and people call him the greatest CEO ever. Well, not people, but some people who are absolutely cuckoo right now. They're kind of going crazy. But the overall, you know, taking out the pre-market low, taking out before yesterday's low, taking out the after-hour lows, being bearish the whole time, and after selling off, still continuing to staying weak overall on GME. So as it stayed weak on each pop, I was looking for a pop into VWAP, but I have seen these scenarios where a stock has a constant seller, you know, not 100% at the even dollar area, because this stock did go back and forth above 25, but a stock has a seller around this area, or usually around the even dollar area, and they don't really let the stock go too higher than that. As they do get pops into those areas, they start selling into the buyers again and really start being aggressive. And you saw that happening on the books somewhere around this area of 25. Any pop you would just see stalling of buying coming in, and then you know, sellers start to swipe back to the downside, eventually VWAP catching up to the $25 price point, and the stock giving a little pop, and sellers just saying, yeah, we're gonna take control from here on out, and just selling on a buy program, sorry, on a sell program possibly kicking in, and just absolutely crashing the stock to the downside, down 24%. So looking for a spot to join, I was able to get 75% of my size up here, 25% of my size down here, and then sadly got out of some size way too quick. This was not part of my system at all. I just decided I wanted to take some profits because I was already down on the day, to protect myself basically. So taking some profits over here. These exits are part of my system, so taking the 2-minute trails, the 5-minute trails, and the 5-minute 9 EMA cross cover. But my original system is 2-minute trails, 5-minute trails, then you have 9-minute EMA on the 5-minute, 9 EMA on the 5-minute, and then 21 EMA on the 5-minute, at which point you would still be in the trade all the way into basically end of day. If you go to the 5-minute chart here on GME, you would see that 21 EMA never really gets tested. Here you do get that break of 9 EMA, so you know, obviously I get stopped out a little bit, but 21 EMA never gets tested or breaking until what, 2:40 p.m. 3:25 p.m. So you would have been in that trade for quite some time had I not taken that first exit. So according to my system, 21 EMA, I should have at least held 10% of my size, because that 10% of my size would have given me an extra, what, like extra $1 per share, $2 per share, $3 per share, extra $3 per share on an extra on 10% size. That would have been a decent amount of money to add to my pocket for doing absolutely nothing. I didn't have to add back into the trade. I didn't have to look for spots to build size back into the position. All I had to do was trail off the 21 EMA, which is honestly the easiest thing you can do. It's such an automatable thing, blind, no-brainer thing to do, and you don't have to even fight for it at all, right? Just let the stock do its thing, let the weakness, let the bearishness bleed for you, and you just ride the wave, ride the momentum. And sadly, I could not do that, all because of that cover. I blame that cover right there, which is basically me. I blame myself. A couple spots where I could have added or done better on the stock, right here on that pop to VWAP, as I mentioned. This is where I should have potentially gotten up to 75%. I shouldn't have been 75% here. This should have possibly have been you know, 25% and maybe only one entry instead of two. Somewhere here or here I'm okay with. I'm not okay with the first entry, which was basically a blind entry on the way up. The second entry was actually like a break of the previous candle lows or the previous candle range lows and so on. So somewhere here or here I'm actually okay with the entry. This should have been 20%. been up to 75% over here, and then on the breakdown of this, that's either a new trade or that's like up to 100% of your position there. Taking some profits on the rules, which is 2-minute trails, 5-minute trails, 5-minute EMA, 9 EMA on the 5-minute. A spot to add back into the trade, possibly not adding here, but as the stock pulls back and rejects again, gives you a second chance scalp opportunity there, and then a low breakdown again, possibly to get short and ride the momentum again. Stock does look like it capitulates, but that capitulation doesn't really have any follow through, so it does push a little bit lower and actually close more to the downside at the end of the day. You saw how it does try to pop over here. I actually give back some money, try to catch along, but barely. I didn't have any size at all. I would have built on the size had it really capitulated, but News move, it's an all-day fader type of move. It's a one of those dilution type of names, so no reason to even try to look for that long down there, which I did try to look for. Not gonna be too upset with that long, not gonna be too upset with that short. I think I traded this to the best of my ability at the moment. I will be a little upset of taking that cover, because that was not part of my plan. So because of that, I give myself a grade B and not really an A grade on here. Could have entered that position better also. So ways to improve always is how you want to be looking at positions. All right, UVXY. Market initially goes higher, or sorry, lower, so UVXY does start to go higher, but the market then immediately reverses and starts to go higher and higher and higher, so UVXY cracks. This is somewhere possibly I should look for a short, or maybe somewhere here, possibly even look for the 9 EMA crossing VWAP to get short. Let's actually go look at the chart to see where that comes into play. Where does the 9 EMA cross VWAP? Somewhere, let's turn off some of these things. Turn that off. Let's turn that off. So 9 EMA crosses VWAP somewhere around here. So possibly, you could look for a short here. You would never get stopped out, and the target does come into play a little bit. Yeah. But overall, it was a market play. I saw the market going higher, and I talked about this idea yesterday on stream, looking for UVXY to short if market goes higher or sideways. And as the market was going sideways and higher, UVXY set up for a good short opportunity, which I was able to scalp. Over here, I didn't really need to take that size out, but my manager had some comments, so I cut the size by half. But then I added that back on the break of the lower day as the market was actually breaking the higher day, and I managed to get a nice little scalp over there. So decent win on that one. This one's a regret, a little bit of an inverse bouncy ball. You had a flat line at $70.50, lower high, lower low, lower low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, all at the same time, having a flat top at 70.50. 70.50 also had an iceberg seller, so as soon as the iceberg seller breaks, you basically use a buy stop entry to get long on the buy stop. It pops up, and then I'm able to quickly exit using the 5-minute trail. Possibly not the smart thing to do, because it was a spready stock, so the 5-minute bar trails actually got me stopped out and not able to take any profits. Potentially could have moved my stop up to break even and not 5-minute bar trails, and then later on could have used 5-minute bar trails, at which point I would have basically been stopped out around the same price, but still would have been able to see the move to the upside, which I never got to participate in after getting stopped out. So SLNO, nice little inverse bouncy ball breakout opportunity. GM, very choppy sideways all day, was looking for an end of day breakdown to get short, no dice. TIGR gets above 940. China sector was a little strong. Baba, Pinduoduo, China, FXI, they were all going higher. 940 area is actually a daily area, so getting above that daily price and then staying above that daily price. It was also yesterday's high basically, so staying above that daily price, staying above yesterday's high, looking like it was actually bouncing from it on each drop to the downside. So I gave it a long, risking that low, and then as it was pushing to that low, I moved my stop down to this low. So I got stopped out, basically gave it a little bit more risk because I didn't have too much size and I was okay with moving the stop lower. Ideally, never move the stop lower, stick to your stop, and stick to the game plan, because these are the habits where if you actually start sizing up, you will lose more than wanted, or these are the habits that actually will stop you from sizing up, right? Because of these bad habits. So just don't take those trades, or take it and just stick to the original stop and then don't move it. However, later on, I saw how the stock was doing this pattern over here around VWAP. It was giving you a good consolidation, so I waited for the consolidation, and then I was like, okay, let me not predict what the stock is going to do. If it does break out of this consolidation and go higher, I could get long, risking the lows. If it breaks the consolidation lows and then goes lower, I could get short and then risk these highs, or use the fashionably late scalp as a stop. And turns out to be exactly as the VWAP is crossing 9 EMA, or sorry, 9 EMA is crossing VWAP. It's around the breakdown level right here. So the stock actually breaks down, and then the 9 EMA crosses this level. It signals the short. I get short, and I'm able to get that exact measured move that the fashionably late scalp talks about. So basically, the range from here to VWAP is the target from your entry to that area, managing a beautiful 3R risk for barely giving it managing to get 3R reward for barely giving it any risk, and actually turning my negative trade positive today on TIDR, fashionably late scalp. AVGO tried to take the opening range breakdown. My pod member Caterino Pepperino talked about the breakdown of the opening range. I love the daily chart, so I took the opening range breakdown. Sadly, did not have too much size, and I got stopped out on break even. Later on, took the pop in what I thought was the reject of the opening range, but that didn't have much follow through. Kind of the second chance scalp, not much follow through. Took my stop, walked away on that trade, and I said, you know what, I'm okay with it. The only thing I'm not okay with is not looking at the stock afterwards. Granted, I was a little distracted with GME. My focus was really glued to GME. I put all my eggs in that basket, and I wanted to focus on that name, and I think I traded that poorly anyways at the end of the day. But the AVGO, nice little pop into VWAP, still weak, as Nvidia, if I remember correctly, was actually doing pretty decent around this time. Nvidia, going higher, market also going higher, whereas AVGO popping back into the daily kind of support, which is turning resistance, daily areas near that 177.60 into today's VWAP, and just struggling around that area. So a lot of weakness, a lot of bearishness, and giving you that beautiful downside move into 170. No matter how strong Nvidia tried to be, or the overall market was trying, semiconductor sector getting hurt a little bit. So potential weakness bleeding into semiconductors and AIs and all of those baskets where bubbles have been potentially created for quite some time. So yeah, weakness. RGLS was looking for the higher day breakout move to kind of join the party. Mainly was looking for the $2 breakout to see some shorts getting squoze, but yeah, no luck taking that stop. I could have taken the stop much quicker here, but I had my stop from earlier. I stuck to it. and honestly didn't lose too much either, so doesn't really matter. But like I said earlier, right, the point is still the same. You want to have some good habits and you want to not build bad habits. Having bad habits is a very bad thing in the market, so this thing not really worth it at all. VVPR fought this one a little bit, really wanted that long. You know, for the last few days the news came out, I actually traded the stock really well. But today I was not trading it because it didn't really do what I wanted it to, but it just randomly halted without any momentum. And that was a news halt, so I figured, oh wow, so now that I'm not trading the stock, it's gonna start going to the $10 marker. It's actually start gonna making that advancement to those crazy prices, all without me. I'm gonna get so pissed. So I start getting a little FOMO, and I see the stock open from a halt, run to the upside. I'm trying to get some prices or fills. I'm not getting any fills. I should have just been aggressive instead of passive on the way up here, because I was thinking I would get a bigger dip to the downside to get long. Never got that dip. Eventually the stock just pushed into a halt price and just, you know, started halting. So I tried my best to get into the halt using my knowledge of routes and gateways. No fills on that halt, and missed out on a nice what could have been $1 per share open on that halt. So quickly you could have made $1 per share, and then maybe if you were bearish you could have flipped short. But I was pretty bullish on this stock, and I was looking for a dip to get long and a hold around the halt price. Usually when these stocks move, they dip back into the halt price and then they bounce from it. These are just FOMO entries that are not necessary. You know, I didn't even wait for the price to get tested first. Kind of put my whole day on the line here, and I gave my whole day back. So stupid trading over here, absolutely punished for it. Worth it. You learn your lessons this way. FOMO cost me the Momo. Well, not the Momo. Well, the Momo, the money. Palantir, kind of the same idea as the stock before that I just showed you. A little FOMO on this one because I talked about it on stream yesterday, how overly bearish I was if the stock could get below 90 and stay below 90. What does it do? It gets below 90, stays below 90, and the market looks like it's gonna sell off. So I get a little too trigger happy on the downside move there, and I get short. But thankfully I keep my risks tight. You can see how I don't lose more than 20 cents. However, the problem with this trade is it's not really a setup. There's no setup here. You could say it's an opening range breakdown. It's after 9:35, but it's not the best setup to take that breakdown. Kind of a monkey in, monkey out, which I'm okay with, but easily avoidable. What is a better trade is that one, which is, you know, a pop into VWAP and an immediate slap down from VWAP, where I'm able to get short, and I actually have a nice 50 cents per share move to the downside there. So I could have had some decent size there, but because I lost the first time, I don't have size over here, so I'm not taking profits on the move down and the immediate pop back up. That's a 1 minute candle where it moves down and then immediately moves back up. My face is covering that, so let me hide it. A 1 minute candle where it moves down and then immediately moves back up. So not much to really capture there if you're not quick enough. So had I not taken that first trade, I would have been able to capitalize on the second trade a little bit and then just get stopped out on a little FOMO because I was kind of prepping for it. But thankfully I did prep for one of these names today, and that one ended up being probably the best trade of the day. I'm pretty sure everyone on Twitter who traded this stock was tweeting about it. Let me just grab a sip of water because that was almost 30 minutes of non-stop explaining. Also, probably My first sip of water all day, which is so bad. Honestly, so bad. I need to drink more water at work. Oh. Alright. GME. So yeah, best trade of the day. I think everyone and their grandma was watching GME today, if they are day traders. At least you hope they were. That they call it. Once again, I don't have a watch list because I'm actually spending some time with my family these days after I get home, instead of spending time on the stream where nobody watches me anyways. So you know, spending less time working on the stream details, but also I could work on the stream details with you guys live on stream. So I'm gonna build the watch list with you guys again. Let's talk about some of the stocks. I do have LULU up here because I know it reported earnings, but I don't have anything else. I know Barkit's in the house. Barkit, you said, hello Prad, I hope you're doing well. Was on vacation in India. Could you review APP and Reddit please? Also LULU for any shortable levels you can help identify for tomorrow. Thank you. Well, yes, Lulu's already on the watch list. APP needs to be on the watch list. Reddit, we'll throw that one on there too. Anything else that I think GME 100% needs to be up there. Chewy, don't care really, and then we can kind of move on from the rest of them. Maybe quickly go see where OKLO is on the daily chart. Bad chart either, but pushing into the 200-day moving average kind of makes it not that attractive. Where is my PS60? Where I had a layout with the PS60. I guess I didn't. Alright, whatever. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Okay, hello. Wondering if I should have that on my watch list or not. Probably not. We're gonna have too many things tomorrow that are gonna be important anyways. So we're gonna not put that one on the watch list. Let's move to I want to move this here. Then we'll close, or maybe I'll put that on that way, and then I know it's over there. And we were on this page. So GME, APP, Rivian up 7% on announcement that's up 25% on auto tariffs for cars made outside of USA. Oh man, that was but shouldn't Ford basically go higher too? Like, isn't Ford an American company going higher? Should be going higher because its cars are made in America. GM, isn't GM American also? So why is GM getting sold off the way it is? I'm a little confused on all of this, but Rivian, I guess you can even throw Tesla in that basket. Tesla had a monster move on that tariff news to the upside today. Sophie down 6% as Robinhood unveiled a new fleet of financial services. I do remember seeing that. Did Robinhood even make a move up today? Robinhood, how did you do on the daily? You actually went lower, so you didn't even have a good day at all. SMCI continued weakness in the AI sector. SMCI, you gotta put SMCI on the watch list for tomorrow, and you guys know the rule. Anytime I have SMCI on the watch list, it goes right next to Palantir. So that one goes right up there. RKLB up after hours on circulations of the company receiving a large contract. So RKLB, what does the daily look like? Not too bad, and I do remember trading the stock around the $30 area. So let's put that one up on there. Potential space stocks having some pop tomorrow. MLGO still going up, huh? Oh my goodness. So I mean, at this point you gotta keep an eye on it, right? Volumes coming back in, and they are continuing to hold the stock up. Dollar Tree up 11% after reporting financial results and receiving a price target increase. I think they reported ER a little bit earlier, and then they are actually going up today recently because of the ER increase, not the ER, but the price target increase. So not sure if yeah, like I said, I don't really want to be looking for a breakout long into this area, but if it starts showing you some strength above this area, potentially worth keeping an eye on for the long side. So we'll throw in there Dollar Tree, maybe even DG, worth keeping an eye on. Same stock, same sector. I shouldn't say same stock, but similar sector. They move very similarly too, and they report pretty similar. So watch DG if you are trading Dollar Tree. I'm just gonna put, how do you do, yeah, I'm a genius. Pandubskis. I know people were talking about Panw today a lot on Twitter. What's going on with Panw? Panw into the after hours, some downside? Not really. Hopefully I'm on right chart. I'm not. Okay, there we go. So Panw down 5% after recently receiving a segment with Jim Cramer about the business. Oh, that's not a good thing. So whatever Jim Cramer said, hopefully he didn't say anything good about them, because if he did, that's obviously negative at the end of the day for CrowdStrike, for Panw, for all of them. I could potentially turn this off right now. I know it's probably very annoying for you guys. Turn that off, and let's look at the charts without it. So CrowdStrike going lower. You can honestly, semiconductor sector being weak is going to be trouble for a lot of stocks. So AI, server, cybersecurities, computing, a lot of stocks are going to be hurting because of this. So potential weakness across the board. In terms of IPOs, we have one tomorrow, and I think I put that on the watch list already. I did not, so let me go grab the IPO. There we go, that's the IPO, and we're gonna put that one at the top of the list for tomorrow. Maybe not, because it's not gonna IPO till like goddamn 12 o'clock anyways, so we're gonna put that one down there. And now I think I just fill this up with MSTR, Coinbase, IBIT, Robinhood. What else comes to mind? The large cap: Apple, Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, Google, Nvidia. We already have Tesla up there, so why don't we just bring Tesla down here? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. That's the Mag 7. QQQ, SPY, IWM, the Dow Jones, and that should be all. All right, watch list, ta-da, prepared. Let's bring in Benzinga for the earnings report and take a look at it for this awesome tool. If you guys are interested in Benzinga, do go check out my link below in the description to get 10% off. Lululemon today reporting ER 3.61 billion versus 3.57, 6.14 versus 5.18, beating EPS, beating revenue, but sliding because of a softer guidance report. Total revenue up 13% year over year. American net revenue increased 7% and international revenue climbed by 38%. Total comparable sales increased by 3%. My mind is still stuck the fact that they make $6 a quarter. I couldn't move over. I know I'm reading down here, but my mind can't get over the fact that Lululemon makes $6 a quarter. That is nuts. Okay, Lululemon total store counts was 767 at the quarter's end after opening 18 new company operated stores during the quarter. Inventories were up 9% year over year to 1.4 billion. The company ended the quarter with approximately 2 billion in cash and cash equivalents. Our fourth quarter results exceeding our expectations as we continue to introduce more newness and innovation into our product assortment. As we begin 2025, we remain focused on executing on our power of 3x2 growth plan. That's all right. I mean, it's clearly working, whatever it is. and delivering an exciting pipeline of innovation and brand activations for our guests and communities. Lululemon's Power of 3x2 growth plan calls for doubling of business from 2021 net revenue of 6.2 billion to 12.5 billion by 2.26. Lululemon expects first quarter revenue of 2.335 billion to 2.355 billion versus 2.39 billion. So that's a miss. The company anticipates first quarter EPS of 2.53 to 2.58 versus 2.74. That's also a slight miss. Why is it such a big drop from the quarter over quarter though? Is this like the this is not the Christmas quarter numbers, or is it? Like, why is it such a big drop on the EPS quarter over quarter there? Lululemon expects full year 2025 revenue to be in the range of 11.15 to 11.3 versus estimates of 11.3. That's also, you could say in line, but not really, because their low end is much lower than the estimate and their high end is lower than the estimate. So basically a miss. 14.95 to 15.15 versus 15.30. So EPS for the full year also a miss. But look, this company prints money, dude. It's a company that makes athletic gear for basically women and men too at this point. But it's a clothing company and they print money, absolute money printer. However, the soft guidance from the company not being appreciated by the market and being sold off by about 10% in the after hours today. So how do we look for trades is the question. I think 10% probably taking it back into what, the 305 area. 305, Miami 305, stand up. Oh wow, let me hit it. Where is it? Pradastradamus in the house. All right, so 305 Miami, right, going into that lows again, and actually going into 301 was today's low. I think it's a very simple psychological level under over 300 at this point. And if you take a look at it, the stock actually goes into the 200-day moving average, bounces from the 200-day moving average, and now we are breaking back below the 200-day moving average again. So on any bounce tomorrow, this area should not find buying. If the stock is finding buying back above 305, that is going to be a no-no for the short side for me. Inflection level 305, support level 300, second inflection level 300, because I basically the game plan, we don't need this box here. This is for Sundays. Game plan is basically under over. Is my caps lock on? It is. Game plan is basically under over 30, but also if stock can find buying above 305, no shorts. Let's quickly go check out some statistics on Lululemon. What is Lululemon's PE? 24. That's not bad for a company at $300, okay? Obviously, could be much better. And for that, the stock could go a lot lower, 260, 250, 240, a much more cheaper price for people to own the stock and so on. So we'll see if it actually goes down there and people start snagging up the prices then. But for now, I mean, 20 is not a bad PE in my opinion for a company who's making 16, 14 bucks a year on EPS. So if the stock gets above 305, I'm not looking to short it. If stock can be week around 300, I would love to take the breakdown. If stock weak on pops into 305, I would love to short the pops. So that is basically my game plan for tomorrow. Hopefully, please, fingers crossed, I don't have to make a decision tomorrow pre-market below 300, and I bet you I will have to. We might just have to make a decision below 300, at which point it might just be easier, honestly, because, you know, in that case, if the stock bounces and rejects 300, short 300. If the stock is holding above 300 and then playing within 300 and 305, you might want to be a little careful. Technically, all the cars just have to be assembled in the USA. Where the parts come from aren't specified. Ooh, is this a loophole? So you can get parts manufactured from China and get them still sent to your factories, but you need to have them assembled in a factory in America, so you have assembly jobs in America, boosting the economy that way. And that's the loophole of not getting tariffed. But guess what? You still charge people 10%, 20% more because you still want to make that 10%, 20% more, being the scummy companies the American companies are. So I still see it happening anyways, right? It's just the way the world goes. The cookie crumbles, as they say. So we'll see how that plans out. We'll see how this plans out. Gotcha. All right, so Lululemon, very interesting how the stock plays out. Under over 300 tomorrow. Fairly simple game plan on that one. Next one, APP. I mean, this stock can't catch a break. The stock absolutely getting hurt every single time. Really quick, let me go to Lululemon, go to the hourly chart, turn off extended trading really quick. There. Yes, earnings VWAP. I throw in like a year-to-date VWAP or something, we're okay. So a couple levels mapped out for me over there. Next one is APP. This stock cannot catch a break at all. Short report after short report after short report after short report. So non-stop weakness. Not sure what company announced the short report today, but that's the story, right? If it's got weakness, we're gonna enjoy it, and we're gonna look for the moves down on each pop. So basically today's VWAP is ideal. Whatever that level is, 288. Today's VWAP seems to be at 289, but that level is today 280, but that level is 289. So somewhere between 280 to 289. If there is a pop and reject between that $9 $10 area, possible shorts on that pops. This is the 200-day moving average, so you know, you might not want to take breakdowns if the stock is into this area. You for sure want to wait for a pop if the stock is in this area. If it's actually below 200 tomorrow, I'm not seeing that happening, maybe next week. But if it's below 200 and weak below 200, at that point, you know, just short every single breakdown, because it's just got some real heavy sellers. And that short report, haven't read any of the short reports, so I have no clue what it's about at all. And nor am I going to speculate on it. So you might want to read the reports first if you're bearish. If you're playing just pure price action and pure momentum and so on, maybe you want to wait and see how today's VWAP comes into play. Today's VWAP on the 5-minute chart is actually 294, 295. It's right around that 289, 290 area I was talking about. Last week's low, 275, 288, 290. There's a lot of levels here that could potentially act as a weakness on a pop. So we'll be watching the stock. I just don't have any solid level in sand where I can say, look, this is where I'm going to short off of, right? Do I think the stock gets above 300 tomorrow? No. If I'm going to be Prastradamus, I don't think it gets above 300. So if it does go into 300 and you know, finds some weakness over there, I would love to get short. But the first question is, does it even get above 275, 276? Does it even get above last week's low that it plummeted into the last hour of the market, into the report move to the downside? What you could also do is throw in an anchored VWAP from that news, and that's right around 280. So if you do pop into 275, into 280, and the reject again from there, you have a game plan of something to play off of. So 280, news, VWAP. And after that, we have a bunch of levels to take a look at. I'm not putting the other levels in my notes because it would just be too many, and I'm only putting 280 because I don't have any notes on this one or on the chart. Reddit. I think if I remember correctly, 105 is the level on Reddit that's more important, and I have an alert set for that area. 105, 106. What is that low? 105.50. So if Reddit actually pushes into that low and looks weak over there, then yes, we're looking short. But from what I have remembered from seeing Reddit every single day for the past 2 weeks now, every time it pushes into this 105, it has an insane bounce from 105. Sadly, the more times a level gets tested, the higher chance that level has to break down. So if it does break down tomorrow, if there is weakness on the market and Reddit is not able to hold up around 105 and find buying into 105, potentially giving you a breakdown pattern. If Reddit is weak below 105 already and not giving you, no buyers around 105, the stock is trying to get above 105.50, but it's just failing on every pop. Short. You want to short that also. So either a breakdown pattern setting up or being weak below. I'm interested on Reddit. GME, big move down today. Basically looking for a day 2 opportunity. Nothing else to explain besides that. Look for today's VWAP. Look for today's levels. You can see how last week's low is exactly today's VWAP. That's beautiful when things like these align. So looking for this area. Usually this is not a pattern where today's VWAP actually gets rejected. This is the pattern where you want to see the stock in pre-market going back down, pop back, and then reject, at which point you get some sort of a good double top to short off of and so on, a better pattern. But right now the pattern I'm seeing here is potentially like this and then go back down again. So lots of weakness. We'll see if day 2 play is on the table for GME. Day 2 play on watch. As for levels, I think if you go to the hourly really quick, you could find some cleaner levels for sure. Mark that up. I'm deleting that one. I'm deleting that one. Deleting that one because I don't need that one anymore. And this one because I don't need that one anymore. And I'm going back to the hourly chart now, and now I'm looking at today's low and that low over there, and pop already on watch, and yeah, that's about it. No, she can come in. Come. Say hi.
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 What's
Your name is... They can't talk to you. They don't have a microphone. Oh. Yeah, only I can talk. I can talk. Okay, close my door, please. Good night, love. Alright, that's my niece going to bed. I should probably be going to bed too. It's almost 9 o'clock. And we're only out like, what? 4 stocks. That's great. Speed run time? No, I'm joking. GME, Obviously keeping an eye on this one. Day 2 play, potential breakdown again, and then even more weakness. What a absolute shit show on GME. GM and Ford. I think GM is for sure worth watching, but I'm just not sure how to read this whole tariff news, honestly. Like, isn't GM an American company? Like, isn't Ford an American company? Like, so, like, I don't know how, don't ask me. I don't know how to read any of these tariff conversations. I'm a very bad tariff trader. I never claimed to be a tariff trader. So, I just have no clue how to trade these. Trade chart patterns, trade traditional patterns, maybe tape read and then look for a trade in them. But for the most part, they are all in such garbage charts. Like Ford is such a garbage chart. Stella is a better chart, because if STLA actually breaks below 1140, that's a much easier short in my opinion. But Ford is such a garbage chart. GM is such a garbage chart, so I just like have no interest of really keeping an eye on these names at all. GM a little bit better than Ford, Stella way better than both of them also, so not interested. Rivian looks like it did make a little bit of a pop here, but yeah. Right back down. I think that pop's not gonna have much substance, so keep an eye out for that one. SMCI, this one gonna get very interesting. It's gonna hopefully not be on SSR tomorrow. Yes, please God, not SSR tomorrow. And getting weak below 3450, high priority. So weak below 3450, we are looking for a big short. And strong above 3450, maybe I'm just staying away and not looking for a trade at all on this name. So see SMCI weak below 3450, heavy short for me on Palantir. Same thing, $90. It tried to stay above 90 today, and it honestly did a fair decent job at staying above 90, but going into the close, I guess it did get below 90. If it does break that trend line, anyways, SMCI had a trend line break that I was talking about that I capitalized on yesterday. So Palantir, if it has that trend line break and gets weak below 90, I think it has room all the way into 85 and much lower. So Palantir weak below 90 is very exciting, and that could be a trade that sets up tomorrow. So keeping an eye on it, but hopefully I don't force it the way I forced it today. Want to be a little less stupid on that side. Rocket Lab apparently going up after hours. I'm not sure what the news was. Oh, some possible big contract. The US Space Force said that show was canceled. Isn't Steve Carell the commissioner of the Space Force? Netflix. But no, the US Space Force contract for Rocket Lab 2 hours ago, taking the stock higher back into, I mean, do you really care about this? If it stays strong above 2050, you know, maybe. Yeah, maybe I'll think about it. If it stays strong. I had a Mike Tyson moment there. If it stays strong about 2450, I'll do it. All right, MLGO, the stock, I have no comments. You look at it on the hourly, clear support in this $10 to $12 zone. So if it dips back again and then holds in this $10 to $12, you know what to do. And it looks like it's gonna trap more shorts and get absolutely wild above 20. So if you are interested to get long and make some money, maybe you could have an opportunity here. But this looks very much like a stuff to scalp on the hourly chart. This is like a SMB pattern, stuffed over there, stuffed again, trapping some shorts, and then maybe a squeeze or trapping some longs and then a rug pull. So either one of those are things that could happen on this name, and you want to be ready for it. MLGO, I'm always ready, baby. Let's see what kind of games you guys are wanting to play on that side. Dollar Tree, I did still am not, but if it goes into 80 tomorrow, I'm looking for a short. Like, I don't think it gets above 80. I really don't think it gets above 80 tomorrow. If stock can get into 80 and look weak, could possibly look for a short scalp back to up from 80. But stock needs to struggle around 80 for this. Those are top. You guys don't understand that, tough luck, but that's my game plan on that one. MSTR. No game plan. Coinbase, I think I care more about this one, because this is actually returning to a level that I care about a lot. And if market continues to break down, you can see how the market at the moment looks like a 21 MA reject. MSTR is doing what Dieter said it would do, which is hold up and stay bouncy from the 5-day moving average. But Coinbase is not doing that at all, getting rejected from the 21-day moving average, getting rejected by the 9-day moving average, and pushing back into a beautiful level that I care so much about. So let's see what happens. Basically under over 190. Today's low was what, 187.80. Tomorrow you could say 193, 195, but I'll just kind of wait for this low where I already have an alert set up. So that's 170 or 177 area. And if that area comes into play, either a short or a long around that zone. Hood didn't really do too much today. I guess just overall market weakness on that side. Apple was surprisingly strong. I was shocked by that. Amazon, not too interested in Amazon. However, if Amazon breaks that low right there, that 199.50, that could get a little spicy. To the hourly chart. See all of the lines here, please. Throw in that one right there. What is that? 200 on the dot? Really? Wow. Okay, 200 and 199. So somewhere around 199 and 200. If Amazon gets below that and looks weak, you're telling me Amazon doesn't have a move down to 192 or so on. So keep an eye for that one also. Amazon 199 to 200. Stock can below the support zone mentioned. Support zone could in room to 190 market. Okay, keeping an eye on Amazon. If it does get weak, what important? I imported, but I might downgrade it later tomorrow. Meta is something I don't really trade. Google, I don't really trade. Microsoft, I don't really trade. Google, Microsoft, I don't trade because they suck to day trade. Nvidia, Tesla is just just way better in my opinion. And if you can see, wow, mashallah. You gotta love seeing stuff like this, right? Nvidia just looking beautiful under the previous hourly ranges. Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So the beautiful hourly range here that we've created, getting weak and staying weak below it, and now pushing into possibly another zone, which is 104. So tomorrow, if we do get below somewhere right there, that could make things interesting. Whatever today's low is, which is what, 110.66. If we start getting below today's low on Nvidia and on the overall market, that could be a good short to keep an eye on. Tesla had an insane pop today. Okay, so I was pretty shocked at that insane pop on Tesla. So maybe you want to be careful looking for a short on this one, right? You might want to be a little short, especially if you're not getting below whatever that low is right there on Wednesday. Whatever that low is, get below that one, you might want to be a little careful trying to short. Last but not least, I guess, is just the overall markets. QQQ getting back into the previous week's ranges. S&P 500 kind of doing the same thing, and the Dow Jones also. So all three markets, Dow Jones a little bit above still last week's ranges, which I guess is a little bullish. But you know, stocks are struggling across the board. Walmart, Costco, all the big stocks are struggling at the moment. Someone mentioned semiconductor stock is looking very, very similar, or the ETF, I mean. The semiconductors ETF is actually looking very similar to what the ARKK ETF looked like before their big breakdown. So here's the ARKK chart, kind of a breakdown over here. Right, you have that, you have this, that, and then you have this. This, and you had that breakdown, and then generational wealth being wiped away by the flood, and the ark that was being built to protect you from that flood by Kathy Wood, sadly did not protect you at all. So if you look at the semiconductor ETF, you know, you kind of draw the same flags, the same lines, the same trend lines, and if it does resolute to the downside, that could be, you know, a big bubble popping. And the semiconductor bubble popping is not a good thing for a lot of the tech basket. Like, that means Nvidia, AMD, Micron, Intel, AVGO. I mean, two of the biggest companies in the QQQ's Mag 7, or I should say Magnificent 8, because AVGO comes under the 8th basket if I remember correctly. Oh, AVGO is actually in the top 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What? These guys are not even the Mag 7 anymore? Google's not even a part of Mag 7 anymore? I guess Mag 7 still gives credit to Google and all the other big boys, but you know, Costco is now more weighted in QQQ than Tesla and than Google. But overall, Google has 2 classes, so you could say Google is basically weighted at a 5% weightage, same almost as Amazon, just slightly below Amazon, I guess. You know, but that's crazy that Costco is now weighted more than Tesla. They re-weighted their portfolios. They do it every quarter, and things like these are interesting to keep an eye on. Okay, so what I was saying is AVGO 3.78%. So Nvidia, AVGO, Like your semiconductor ETFs getting hurt, and if they set up for that big downside move that everyone is kind of predicting, this is not a good sign for anybody or anything. So be careful. Be careful for everybody. Throwing up the warning signs. Last but not least, we have our big IPO tomorrow, and time to do some research on that bad boy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 purple stocks tomorrow. This one's actually not even purple until it gets down there, so we can downgrade that. SMCI is purple, Palantir for sure purple, but only if it gets weak 90, so we'll unpurple that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 purple. This one's also not really purple, so this one goes to orange, so we have now 4 purple, and honestly this one's not here, but that one's orange, so that's purple, that's purple, that's purple, and I think I can now turn Palantir back into purple, not blue, into purple. So purple for me are top priority names, orange are basket tier number 2, blue is you know, the 3rd tier basket, but they will switch around and change on priority levels based on how the stocks are doing in the pre-market. Time for the IPO. Let's go take a look at CRWV. That's the ticker. CRWV. Where is the stock? CRWV. CoreWeave will go public soon. Estimated IPO date is March 28th. Let's actually refresh this page a little bit. Still the same. So expected price $47 to $45. Also want to go check on the actual IPO website of they're reporting the same thing. 49 million shares over here, 49 million shares also over here, which is a good thing. $2.5 billion size overall. $5 billion size. And we got, where is it? Okay, that's pretty much it. All we can grab from there. Profile. CoreWeave powers the creation and delivery of intelligence that drives innovation. We are the AI hyperscaler driving AI revolution. Our CoreWeave cloud platform consists of our proprietary software and cloud services that deliver the software and software intelligence needed to manage complex AI infrastructures at scale. So you don't provide AI, you are an AI infrastructure provider, so like hardware and almost like SMCI, like a cooling rack and so on is what I'm guessing. Our platform supports development and use of groundbreaking modules and the delivery of next generation of AI applications that are changing the way we live and work across the globe. Our platform is trusted by some of the world's leading AI labs and AI enterprises, including IBM, Meta Platforms, Microsoft, Mistral AI, SAS, and Nvidia. I still have no clue what the hell they do. 806 employees. Michael Intrator is the CEO. Technology, software, and application. So they are a software company and not a hardware company. So I am a little misquoted and misinformed based on what I saw on Twitter. Never believe Twitter. Okay, never believe Twitter. Always do your own research. Let's continue a little bit more here. CoreWeave, $18.12 billion company overall. Enterprise value of $26.93 billion. Current EPS, PE non-existent, so they are not actually making money. Okay, return on investment, return on asset, income tax paid $119.5 million in taxes for the last months. Gross margin 74%, operating and profit margins coming in at 16 and negative 48% respectively. In the 12 months, operating cash flow 2.75 billion, capital expenditures negative, and cash flow negative 5.9. Company has 1.82 billion in cash. And how much did you make the last 12 months? thing. But okay, let's continue reading. In the last 12 months, CoreWeave revenue 1.92 billion and 937.77 million in losses. So loss per share 2.64. Not making money. All right. Oh my God! What? What? What am I looking at here? 13,000% growth on revenue year over year, and then a 700% growth on revenue year over year. What does this company do again? What? What does CoreWeave do? Prad, have a great weekend. See you Monday, and more drinks and good time. You too, my friend. Catch you tomorrow. What is that IPO we are looking for tomorrow? Oh, I guess you are leaving before I talk. Oh. Sometimes I ramble. Teacher how to trade. You know what? Probably the last thing I'll do is teach someone how to trade. Not because I don't know how to trade, which I don't. But I don't want anyone to go through the same trouble that I have to go through to actually learn how to trade, because this life is not for everybody. Let me tell you that. All right, you have to be a certain level of retard to really love doing what you love doing here, and really fall in love with it. You know, every day you wake up and you just get railed by the market. The next day you still wake up like the last day didn't happen, and you're ready to go to war again. You're ready to fight again. It's like Call of Duty, right? It's like Call of Duty where you literally just got shot in the head by walking outside of a building by a sniper in the game, and now you have to wait 10 seconds, and then you have to spawn again and go run outside again and hope you don't get killed by that sniper. That's basically what's happening in this market, right? It's basically a video game where you get killed and you spawn back and you go back to war again. It's a non-stop cycle, non-stop loop, and you have to be a special case of an autist to really love this game. But as some people say, you know, it takes sometimes 5 years, 10 years of dying in the game to all of a sudden have 1 month of just where you're not dying at all, and then you're just killing it. So if she learns early, she will be good. Honestly, you know, you have my notebook, right? If I just give anyone my notebook, anyone can learn how to trade. The problem is, can you actually apply it and have the discipline, have the patience to not do anything when trades are not setting up, to stay away from the garbage trades, right? From the bullshit trades, and then how to manage your psychology when you're actually in the good trades, how to manage your psychology when you're sizing on the trade itself. So there's so much outside of actually being able to trade that you cannot teach a person. Like that's why courses on trading fail. There's so many courses on trading, on people selling courses that are actually legitimate. You know, courses are legitimate and they have great information in them. But why do people still fail? Why do 99% people still fail at this? It's because they are not able to face the truth of who they themselves are when the market presents it. You know, I know for a fact I'm not, and trying to work on that has been taking quite some work, and it's still taking me quite some work, right? So it's just having to know the battles that you're gonna go through in the market. It's pretty much the same battles that you go through in any professional high level fight, right? Like if you were like a high level UFC fighter, or if you were like a high level a hockey player, basketball, right? Anything high level, high intensity, that's basically the same trouble that you would have to go through in the market. And you can do the math, how many people actually end up making to the NBA. There's only like what, 1,000 players in the NBA in total. Out of how many people apply to play in the NBA, you can kind of do the math right there and figure out the ratios. It's very similar to the market over there, very similar to baseball, very similar to soccer. You get the idea. Let's finish off the show here very quickly by reading on what CoreWeave actually does. Cloud computing company that specializes in providing high-performance GPU accelerated infrastructure tailored for artificial intelligence and machine learning workloads. So they are a cloud computing hardware provider and potentially software provider too. So basically like Microsoft Azure or Amazon AWS. Cloud computing company that specializes in providing high performance GPU accelerated infrastructure tailored for artificial intelligence and machine learning workloads. Unlike general purpose cloud providers, CoreWeave focuses on delivering scalable, specialized computing resources primarily through its extensive use of GPUs from NVIDIA. Its services are designed to support compute tasks such as AI model training, inference, visual, I don't know what the fuck that is, visual effects rendering, and other high performance computing needs. The company manages a robust cloud platform that includes bare metal compute nodes, managed Kubernetes, high-speed networking, I know what that means, and storage solutions, all optimized to handle the demands of modern AI applications. CoreWeave serves a range of clients from AI labs and startups to large enterprises, offering them faster and often more cost-effective alternatives to traditional providers for these specific workloads. Who are the competitors? I assume you're asking about the competitors of CoreWeave based on your previous question. Yes, I am. Lambda Labs, AWS, Microsoft Azure, Cloud Computing by Google, Paperspace. So this space is actually a very tough space to fight, in my opinion, because you have giants with a lot of money in their back pocket that you're having to fight against. So and also giants that make their own AI software and then host it on their own cloud computing providers. So this is like a very, very hard to compete sector, in my opinion. But as they're saying, if they provide cheaper alternative solutions compared to AWS, Microsoft or Google Cloud, then maybe they do have a compatible some competitive pricing and some opportunity to actually break into the market. How much of the internet is on AWS? 30 to 35% of the internet of the world is on AWS. Now you can imagine how big of a percentage that is, okay? Perhaps 30 to 40% of public cloud hosted content services, but not internet as a whole, is on most likely on AWS. So you can understand how much they're gonna have to compete against these big boys. Compare competitor strengths. So they're still pointing out that this company might be a more cost-effective company overall, so potentially worth keeping an eye on. Now, all this research is not to blindly get long or blindly get short tomorrow when the stock IPOs. It'll be very interesting when it IPOs, how it IPOs, and it's supposed to trade around $40 to $50 tomorrow. The higher it IPOs above 50, the wilder it gets. Actually, I think I saw an article today that the stock was priced in, CoreWeave IPO was priced in at $40, so less than its earlier mention, showing you that the people are not as interested to buy a stock in this current market. So the IPO is actually lowered for the stock. Original price was what, 40 to 47 to 55. That's what the original price was on the website, but we're actually getting a lowered price target to $40 to $50, and the lower and lower the price target goes, maybe the stock becomes easier to get long tomorrow when it actually opens. So always keeping an eye on this one, potentially opening up around somewhere around 12 o'clock. Just keep it for it. Let's quickly go take a look at the econ calendar, and then it's all done for the week for us. Econ calendar, we got 8:30 core PC, 10 o'clock Michigan numbers. Last time these Michigan numbers actually moved the market a little bit, and I told you that it's possible. That's what happens when you get a high volatile market and a scary market where people are worried about everything. And if the Michigan numbers come out even slightly as a surprise, people might use that, and algos might use that to shake up the market and move things back and forth. So be careful around any of these 2-star or 3-star events on the market. However, these commodity numbers, I don't think they ever matter. But 10 o'clock tomorrow, you got Fed member talking at 12:15 tomorrow, and then core PCE numbers at 8:30. So a little busy. Pre-market 8:30, 10 o'clock, and then 12:15. After that, smooth sailing into the weekend. I wish you guys all the best, and hopefully you guys are able to find some money-making opportunities out there. It's been an absolute pleasure to be streaming to you guys this whole week. This month is almost coming to an end, and April is right around the corner. Good little stretch there. Time for me to go do the dishes and then do some homework, because I have to start saving some charts and then do some peer reviews for my trading pods and so on. So lots of work over there. Have a great weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for everything. Please do hit like and subscribe, and check the links below for awesome gifts. Shout out. Have a great
Get ready for the watch list for tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm gonna bring in my big screen over here, back to another brand new week of After the After Hours with your host TraderPrad. I'm doing great. Hopefully you guys are joining me on that great side. Markets are moving around. Might just be a risk on type of day, so let's see what happens. 8 o'clock tomorrow. As you guys know, we do the stream Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. Shout out to my affiliate sponsors, Benzinga, Trade Ideas, the #1 scanner to go to, Trader Sync, promo code down below, promo code PRAD15 to get 15% off. I will catch you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock, same time, same place. Until then, TraderPrad out. Adios.